Now, I never pay full price on anything. So much so that even on my honeymoon, I was negotiating just about on everything. And my wife actually got mad at me. Not because she was embarrassed, but because she really thought that, Tommy, whenever you're negotiating with them and they're giving you a price, that's the fair price. Just take it, okay? It's not that much money compared to like the US or Dominican Republic. Just take it. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna take it. Don't believe that. When I'm actually making an offer to them, it's not like I win, they lose. No, more than often, I win, they win. And by the end of our honeymoon, my wife was basically saying, I am not paying full price on anything, because she realized that everything was just negotiations. We went to one store with a crazy price, another store with a different price, same item. And she realized that, hey, it's just business. When you're a tourist somewhere, people try to take advantage of you if you're not clever, okay? Now, the very first thing, guys, is this. Do me a favor and smash the like button. And because you're watching a video about negotiation, you have to know that the person, me, TommyBryson, that you're actually watching this video from, is actually a good negotiator. So here's my last deal. I just got a new camera. My old camera, which is right here, which is a Panasonic GH5, I'm gonna have it for sale pretty soon. If you're interested, I might put it on eBay. I don't know. But the idea is, I wanted a new camera. I looked into a Sony A7 4th generation, whatever it is, and I wanted the camera and everything, and I just bought it, okay? Now, guess what? Everything I have here, including, for example, where is it, okay? This tripod, which is like a Peak Design tripod, goes for around $378. The Sony A4 goes for about $2,500. The strap that actually straps to the camera goes for about $45. And also the lens that's actually being used right now goes for about $639. Now, when you add up all four of those numbers, you get a whopping $3,562. And you might be saying, Tommy, well, how much did you pay, okay? You probably paid, like maybe like $2,500, maybe, for example, $3,000. By doing the tactics that I'm going to show you guys in this video, the Sony, there you go. Can you guys see it? Yeah, there you go. The Sony A7 IV. I bought it for around $1,900, including everything I just told you. Damn! So I saved just about 46% on everything. And to me, that is an amazing deal. And that's why I do what I do. And by the way, I also got free shipping. The camera's in great condition. Everything seems to be going well for right now. This camera, I also bought it used, by the way. Now, here are the 3 tactics I used to never pay full price for anything. Number 1 is going to be everything I buy used. You wanna know why? If something is not worth buying used, it is not worth buying new, at least in my book, okay? Here's one example. My wife and I, we actually bought a car, a Toyota Corolla 2017, okay? We bought the car with dog hair inside of it. A car that also got into an accident where the bumper was basically almost destroyed, okay? Now you might be saying, Tommy, why would you buy a car like that? A car that came with dog hair, a car that's used, a car with 115,000 miles on it. Now, by the way, we live here in Dominican Republic where cars are extremely expensive because you have to worry about importation taxes. When we were actually shopping for a car, can you guess how much this car was actually going for? Well, they were trying to sell it to us for about $18,644. Now, our car that was in a previous accident that had dog hair in it and had 115,000 miles, and by the way, all the cars were used, but this car was just like $18,000. We actually bought it for about $13,220. That's a 29% discount. Now tell me, what about the dog hair? What about the smell? We grabbed the car and we got a guy to give it a whole interior cleanup and all this other stuff, and we paid about $100. That's it. Now the car has no dog hair, the car is clean, everything's fine, and we got to save a bunch of money. You might say, what about the miles? The answer is the car can run for like about 250K miles if we take care of it. So the answer is, we have left about 13 years on this car if we drive like 10K miles a year, which we honestly probably don't. We don't drive that often, but the answer is, if something is worth buying used, it's worth buying. Well, new, if something's worth buying used, oh wait, I confused my whole thing. If something is not worth buying used, then it's not even worth buying new. The car is good, it's solid, and it's gonna last us a pretty long time. Now, second thing, on a small thing like a phone, this is a Galaxy S23. They go for about $799. I paid $333, taxes, shipping, everything included. Now, here's why buying things used works so well. It's because of depreciation. And also, it's also because the idea that the moment someone uses something, it's worth less automatically, okay? It's like, it's ridiculous. But if you literally buy something at Best Buy, you bring it home, you open it, you don't like it, you bring it back. Now it's an open boxed. It is now worth less to the media, to the people. But it's the same item, hasn't been used at all. But that's just how things work, okay? So depreciation is when the value of something just goes down little by little, especially with cars. That's why I say it's just not worth buying. When something has a long life and you can buy in between those lives for a massive discount, do that instead. You don't need to buy it new. And I also did this with clothes. I have a lot of clothes, not this one, but I have a lot of clothes that I bought used. I bought a lot of Banana Republic and Bonobos. Forgot what that brand name is, honestly. I bought them used. Banana Republic shirts are expensive. I would go to thrift shops, I would go to eBay, and I would buy these things for a massive discounts for $1, for $5, for $7, and I'm still using those clothes today. And they work fine and they're fresh, okay? That's the idea. So that's my mantra. Buy everything used. Just by it being used, you're gonna get a massive discount by nature. Now, the second thing that I do to basically never pay full price is going to be I always, no matter what, negotiate. Now, negotiation is a tactic. It is an art. You cannot negotiate where you win and the other party loses. You will not be in business too long. So I love this book. It's called Never Split the Difference, okay? And I like it so much because the whole idea is I want you to win, but I'm also gonna win. That's the whole idea. And when it comes to negotiation, you wanna make sure your negotiation doesn't turn into procrastination. Sometimes you find an item that is listed for way below what it's worth and you want to negotiate way too much, you lose the item. So you have to be able to, once you know what something's worth, you gotta buy it right then and there if there's no time to negotiate. So here's a few things that I make sure I know when I'm looking for something. I make sure I know what the retail price is, what the current value is, because by the way, retail can be one thing, current value is another thing. I bought this car for $45,000. It's been 5 years. I want $43,000 for it. No. It's been 5 years. Your car is worth half of what you paid for it. It's only worth $22,000, $22,500 now, okay? So I'm not gonna pay you anywhere close to that. So if I find a car, for example, or an item that is being sold for like 20% off of whatever its sticker price is basically at, current value, I'm gonna buy it right then. Now, if I have room to negotiate, like saying, hey, are you willing to negotiate on this item? Usually they might say no, they might say yes, doesn't matter. I still make an offer. If they say no, right then and there, boom, I buy it, okay? Because I know I'm getting a deal on it. I've missed deals because I try to negotiate way too much. Once you find a good deal for a good price, what you need to know the price is, just go ahead and buy it. But everything is negotiable. You know how I know? I've gone to retail stores, like malls and all that stuff, and I ask for a discount. And they say, we don't have a discount, but if you put your email here, we'll give you 10% off. There's always room for discounts. And I've also heard of people that they go into a retail store, they want to buy something. They say, there's no email, there's no store discount, there's nothing. You buy, you don't. You say, let me talk to the manager. Will you actually give me a discount on this, okay? And the manager, if they have the power to, they will, because they're trying to get those things off of their shelves. And guess what? They're making a profit still. Believe me, okay? But they're also trying to move inventory. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Right here are some batteries I had to buy for my new camera. They were going for like about $120 as you can see right there. And I basically told the lady the same thing I'm telling you guys, okay? And can you guess how much I ended up paying for it? In the end, she was like, yeah, sure. I can actually do about $80 for it, okay? So I ended up getting something that was being sold for $120 that's worth like more like about $150, $160. I ended up getting for $80. Got like half off discount just by doing this little tactic of saying, hey, what's the steal price? What's a good deal? And what's a fair deal? You know, the lady, she got rid of something she didn't want. I got to buy something I needed. Everyone wins. Everyone wins. Now, here's the third thing I do to be able to never pay full price. And this is basically, I always compare and contrast. I get rid of my ego. I get rid of my brand necessity. And I get rid of, for example, my whole idea of price equals quality. We all share those distinctive things, okay? We say, you know what? I want a Sony camera. At first, I wasn't looking for a Sony camera. I was looking for a Panasonic. I was looking for a Canon. And then I realized, wow, Sony makes some great quality cameras. Might be a pretty good deal over there. And then I started to look at alternatives, okay? Super important. And here are some examples in my life where looking at alternatives saved me a lot of money. And I also realized that just because something is more expensive than something else doesn't mean that more expensive item is better than the less expensive item. It's very true, okay? You can have, for example, like a Gap t-shirt, and then, for example, a Banana Republic t-shirt. By the way, if you don't know, it's all one company. Old Navy, Banana Republic, Gap, all the same company in a way, but it's all marketed to a different audience, okay? But the idea is most likely same quality shirts, same quality clothes. It's just different, okay? That's the idea. So whenever I'm negotiating, I'm always open to quality alternatives. I was crazy about getting a Mazda CX-5. I ended up buying a Toyota Prius, 2009 at the time. Saved me a bunch of money on gas. It saved me about $13,000 of what I would have paid for the other car because it was so much more expensive. And it was a good car. And then I wanted, at a certain point, I actually wanted a Zenfone 10 by Asus. They cost about $700. I ended up buying a Samsung. I saved about $500, okay? There's another example I have here. I wanted to buy a house for 320 grand. I ended up buying a house for 130 grand, okay? My point is, whatever you want, be willing to look at the competition, be willing to look at different things out there, especially, for example, with women. A lot of times women, or even men, okay, we have this certain idea that, well, I'll put an example that's close to me because my wife was kind of like this. She was like, I want this bag, okay? This bag I actually want. And I was like, this bag is so expensive. It's crazy. And then we look into, for example, a Coach bag. And then Coach is like same leather, same stitching, good quality, less money. She was like, yeah, this makes so much more sense. Okay, this bag is just cheaper. And then we looked even further because at the Coach store, they were going for a retail price, $320, $500, all that stuff. Then we looked on eBay, retail, quality stuff, brand new, sometimes used. And guess what happened, okay? We were saving 50% off on these items, okay? So the idea is you gotta be open to look at alternatives. The minute you say, no,
I want this brand or nothing else,
then that's the point where you're trapped. That's when there's no room to negotiate, okay? But I do have to warn you. Once you learn these tactics and you master them, the art of buying things used, the art of negotiation, and the art of compare and contrast, once you learn these things, you have to be careful of not justifying buying crap you don't need just because you're getting it at a discount. Super important, okay? I catch myself sometimes buying things I don't need just because I can get a good deal on it. And you don't want to do that, okay? At one point, I had 2 Nintendo Switches just because I got a good deal on one. I was like, yeah, I'm basically stealing this, okay? Gotta buy it. The answer is if you don't need something, you're not stealing it. You're getting robbed because you basically just don't need it. So the best way to save money is not buying it at all. I'll tell you that much. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what's the best deal you've ever gotten, okay? I'll tell you the worst deal I ever got. I bought a mattress for $2,000. It was a twin mattress. I got robbed.